So today I will explain the film Jennifer, released in the year 2005. It is a horror thriller movie, so let's move towards the story of the film. At the beginning of the story, two cops are shown who are eating in their car when one of them, Officer Frank, gets out of the car and looks at the river. He sees a man who was forcibly taking a girl away, was carrying it and with a sharp weapon in his hand. He was going to cut his throat. Seeing this, Frank points a gun at that man and tells him not to kill that girl. But the man tells him that he does not know yet what this girl is, so whatever it is very important to do this work. Saying this, as soon as the man is about to separate the girl's head, then Frank shoots him, due to which the man falls down, and Frank goes to check on him when the man wakes up and catches Frank and says, "Jennifer." After that he dies. When Frank's friend comes over there and asks him what he did, on this Frank tells him that this man wanted to kill that innocent girl, so I had to shoot him even if I didn't want to. Also, Frank sees that the girl was very scared, so Frank picks him up, and when he sees the girl's face, and he is very scared because her face was very strange, as well as Frank goes to open the rope tied in her hand, and that girl is also very scared. After that, she hugs Frank, and Frank picks her up and takes her to the hospital. The next day, Sheriff asks Frank why he killed the man, but he tells him that he killed her to save the girl's life. He thinks it might be a thief who wants to rob the girl. Sheriff tells Frank that the man was homeless, but he used to be a businessman, and due to some reason his business came to a standstill. After this, Frank sees Jennifer there. He was called there to inquire about it. Jennifer looks at Frank as if she has started liking him. In the evening, Frank goes to his house. Now he goes inside and meets his wife and tells him that today he killed a man. His wife tells him that this is his job, so don't think too much about him. Just then his son comes there, and he didn't mean anything to them, so he picks up the food from there and quietly goes to his room. After that, Frank goes to washroom to clean his wound. After this, he goes to his bedroom to sleep. There he sees that his wife is waiting for him. Now here his wife tries to make him feel good, and later the two start getting intimate, so that Frank can feel better than ever. While Frank is getting intimate with his wife, he is thinking of Jennifer, causing him to inadvertently hurt his wife, which frightens his wife and starts yelling at her. Now the next day, Frank goes to his colleague and asks him about Jennifer's file. Now Frank's colleague asks him, "Why do you need the file?" Frank tells him that he just wants to know whether he is okay, to which his colleague tells him that he is admitted to a nearby mental hospital. Now Frank goes to the hospital to meet him, and then Jennifer sees him and hugs him. This makes Frank feel very sorry for the girl, and he decides that he will keep her with him now, and he gets her released from the hospital and brings her to his house. He goes to tell his wife about this, but she was sleeping, and after that he goes to his son, but he also does not open the door. Now Frank tells Jennifer that he needs to sleep on this couch tonight, and tomorrow morning I will go to find a house for you. Here Jennifer doesn't say anything and just sits there quietly and starts licking the wound on her hand. And seeing this, Frank tells Jennifer that he should go to sleep now, and he himself goes to sleep. Here we find out that Jennifer is not as innocent as she seems. Frank is in a deep sleep, and he only dreams of Jennifer. Then, suddenly his eyes open, and when he goes to his room, he sees Jennifer nude. And on seeing this, he is surprised and tells her to go out and sleep. And then there comes Frank's wife, and she is very scared to see Jennifer's weird face, and she starts screaming loudly, due to which Frank's son also comes there, and he also shouts loudly after seeing Jennifer's face. Now Frank calms down his wife and says that this girl has no one in this world, so he wanted to help her, and so he brought her home, to which Frank's wife tells him to get this girl out of their house immediately. But then Jennifer kisses Frank's wife, to whom she stops talking. Now the next day, Frank goes to find a house for Jennifer to live in, but he pities Jennifer. He didn't want to take Jennifer away from her house. But he has to go because his wife won't let him stay with her. On hearing this, Jennifer holds his hand and puts it on her chest. To this, Frank at first refuses her, but she is forced to come closer to him. This makes Frank more in love with her, and he didn't want to get away from her. At night, Frank takes Jennifer home with him, and his wife sees her and asks him why he brought her home. Just then, when Jennifer hears the voice of a cat from within the house, she runs into the house. Here they were fighting each other when they heard the sound of lightning. They both go upstairs when they see that Jennifer's killed the cat and she's eating his meat. Seeing all this, Frank's wife gets very scared and leaves with her son. Frank here scolds Jennifer a lot about this gesture, which makes Jennifer quite upset, and Frank takes pity to see her face shocked and forgives her. Now that Frank is spending the night, Jennifer arrives in his room and seduces him and begins to be intimate with him. The next day, a girl from Frank's neighborhood plays outside his home, and Jennifer will meet him. The girl laughs in Jennifer's face and asks her, "Who are you?" Here, Jennifer hangs out with him and then brings him with her. Now Frank is in a bar in the evening when he drinks because now he has left his work and his wife has also left him. Now, he looks for Jennifer when he gets home at night, but she is nowhere to be found. He goes to investigate the noises coming from the basement and discovers that Jennifer has slain her neighbor's daughter and is eating his meat. He is horrified by what he sees and becomes furious with Jennifer. He beats Jennifer and is about to strangle her to death, but he is unable to do it. The following day, he visits a circus and strikes a deal with the owner to keep Jennifer. Now Frank gives the circus owner the keys to his house and tells him that the girl is locked in his house, so you come secretly and pick it up and take it with you. Now in the evening when Frank goes to his house, he finds that Jennifer is nowhere. He thinks that the owner of the circus took Jennifer with him, but when he opens his fridge, he finds the body of the same circus man inside the fridge, which was brutally killed and eaten by Jennifer. Frank is shocked to see this, and he takes the man's body to a place and buries it. He then decides that he will take Jennifer away so that it does not kill humans. Now the next morning he packs his luggage and comes with Jennifer to his old cabin, which was in the middle of the forest. He tells Jennifer that he will stay here from now on, and he tells her that there is a town nearby where he is going to find a job, and he should not leave this place in his absence. Frank now goes to a store in town where a man is required. He talks with the mistress, who informs him that they require the services of a cleaning man. He says that he is ready to do any job. That woman now hires him, and Frank begins working there. In the evening, Frank buys food and drinks and goes to his cabin where he sees Jennifer, who was in the same cabin. The next day, when Frank is at work, he sees the mistress' son asking his mother for permission to hang out with his friends. But his mother tells him that there is a lot of work in the shop and she cannot do it alone. Frank was listening to all this and asked the woman to let go of her son. In return, he will do all the work. This makes the mistress's son happy and leaves to go to the party with his friends. Now here, while Frank is working with the woman, Jennifer secretly comes here and sees Frank, and he thinks that maybe Frank is starting to like that lady. So seeing her together, she gets jealous and goes back to the cabin. Now the mistress asks Frank where he lives. Frank then tells him that he has a cabin in the woods where he lives with his daughter. His daughter has a disease. That's why he doesn't bring it with him. On this, the lady tells him not to worry. She will get well soon. Now here Frank tells lies so that his image cannot be down. On the other hand, this lady's boy is in a party with his friends, and only then he comes to the toilet, and he goes towards the forest where he sees a girl who calls him behind, and when she looks back, we see that she is none other than Jennifer, and she kills the boy by strangling him so that he can take revenge on his mother. Now when Frank comes back to his house, he does not see Jennifer anywhere. Then he hears some sound from the basement That's why he goes inside when he sees Jennifer eating the meat of his mistress's son. He is shocked to see this and decides that he will kill Jennifer. Now he ties Jennifer to the forest, and when he is about to kill her, there is a hunter who sees him. The hunter thinks that maybe Frank is torturing the girl, so he shoots Frank. After which he comes inside and sees Jennifer. Then Frank stands up and dies, telling her Jennifer's name. Now here Hunter gets very nervous seeing Jennifer's face at first, but he starts feeling pity for Jennifer's condition, and with this the story ends here.